Everyone, I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins.
And I'm 10 Tampa Bay Meteorologist Colleen Campbell.
And we're going to start with tropics today. We've got a busy afternoon going on here in the tropics. Florida is looking okay. Tampa Bay is looking fine as far as that's concerned. But we've had some pretty significant changes in the forecast models for today that will affect potentially the Carolinas, maybe even Georgia, even Northeast Florida has to keep an eye on it. But Tropical Storm Humberto, you can see, is looking pretty good out there right now. And you can see the forecast track is west of Bermuda. And then the one that really most people are going to be talking about is Invest 94L, which should be Imelda by the time we get towards probably Saturday night or early Sunday. Depends on how it intensifies a little bit. But that's where we'll start for today. Of course, we have Humberto out there. This is the one that is southeast of Bermuda. Let me move that so you can see. There's Bermuda right at the top of the screen there. So this one is a stronger one, 50-mile-per-hour winds now, but it's forecast to go to Cat 3 at one point. And I'll show you that coming up. The main concern, because this goes something like this and backing out. Okay, so Bermuda's going to watch it, but this one here, which the center is now here in the Turks and Caicos, with all that convection, that's not it. The center of that wave is right there, but that looks like it wants to come right up through the Bahamas and into maybe South Carolina as we get into Sunday night and Monday. So let's start with Humberto. 50-mile-per-hour winds, pressure's down to 1,004 millibars. Not a lot of intensification here since what we had yesterday, but it will get that way. It's only moving at 8 miles per hour to the north and the west. It is expected to go slow, especially you can see here we are tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, even Sunday morning. But then notice it really starts to pick up during the day on Sunday and in Monday and Tuesday. So the speed's going to pick up a little bit. There's Bermuda right there, by the way. All right, right at the tip of that point. So this is going to end up going west of there. This track and, well, I'll show you that intensity come back up. And those models have all shifted to the west. Okay, they shifted. These models were generally right up in this area in here like that. Now they're out over here like this. The Hurricane Center forecast track, this one here, the cone, that has shifted to the left, to the west as well. Their forecast, they went Cat 3 yesterday at 1:15. And this morning they've gone Cat 3 at 1:20 for Sunday morning, late Saturday night, Sunday morning, and Monday morning. And then the Tuesday mornings, there's a little bit of wind shear, and that will weaken it a little bit of cooler water, believe it or not, as we get into that time frame. So that's something that they'll be watching, but that's a big storm. Now, either way, this storm will push swell up against the east coast of Florida and all the way up through the Outer Banks. I think even Jersey will get it, all right? How far is that from Albany? So all
He's
of those...
picking on me because I said Albany wrong. I said Albany.
Albany.
Yeah.
Well, you know, tomato, I guess.
Yeah, we might have some New Yorkers down here.
Yeah, but that's like saying Tampa. Although that's what I think we were, Tampa, T-A-N-P-A, which means sticks of fire. And because of all the lightning, that's what it was originally named way back in the day. All right, now, so those are the forecast models for Humberto. Not concerned about that. Now, about 900 miles west-southwest of that is the center of 94L. And this one's struggling, but you would expect it to struggle because it's over land.
Yeah.
I mean, it went right across the Dominican Republic. Got some, you know, what is it, free? All those places, those resorts there, they're so nice. Thank goodness it's rain for them, but it is some actually very heavy rain for them at times. But that will start to pull away slowly over the weekend. The Turks and Caicos will start to feel this. In fact, most of the convection is just offshore at this point. Sorry about that, right in here. But that is going to start building into the Turks and Caicos tonight and tomorrow. So if you do have plans there, if you can get in there now, that's the good thing. I don't think there's a lot of wind with this, and especially not in the Turks and Caicos. The wind will be developing up here as we get into the central and northern Bahamas over the upcoming weekend. But there's the visible satellite, and you can see that's just wild that that's the center. And you can kind of see it rotating there. Now, very weak systems, especially ones that are over land, can lose the center and redevelop another one somewhere else. And that's really something that we have to watch. Because if the center is here and it's moving to the northwest, that'll take it through the Bahamas. If the center ends up over here somewhere in northwest, it's going to take it into Florida. So, yeah, exactly. That's why we watch it very closely. But you can see where there's nothing much around the center as we see it now. All right, so I wanted to talk about some shear because this has a couple different things going for it. You can clearly see here, look at this dip right here and then back up. That is a trough, okay, that with an upper level low that's kind of sitting in here, right? That is what's taking this from here and instead of going into Florida, curving it up. All right, if that was not there, this thing would probably come something like this. Okay, but because it's there, that's what argues for this to turn more to the north-northwest. That's the mechanism that's doing this. So right now, there's not a lot of shear on that system. As we get towards Sunday, it's actually starting to intensify in here. This is the northern and central Bahamas, okay? But most of the shear is still back up here. It's getting some, it's not a lot that's gonna mess it up. But then watch as we go through Monday, and now the forecast models are actually showing, see the center right here? I know there's a lot of lines to look at, but that's the center. And this is early Monday. During the day on Monday, it's landfall somewhere near Myrtle Beach or Charleston, right? Okay, and this is going to change. So this is not a forecast, right? But this is giving you the latest idea from just the European forecast model. But look at the blue. You see the blues here? That's wind shear. It dips down, it comes across. And so what that's going to do is whatever this looks like, it's going to blow a lot of cloud cover off to the north and some rain. And we'll have to see how much this can strengthen with this here. And the models have just been having a tough time. I mean, Colin, we were talking yesterday, like, that doesn't even look right.
Right, yeah.
And so this, to me, too, with all that shear around, it's going to be tough for this thing to get strong, but the model does it. All right, look at this. By landfall, it's got a couple of different lines there, right? That shows a deeper pressure system. So you don't see a lot of shear. Let me back up here a little bit. You don't see a lot of shear on the backside. But what is this? And how much of this gets to the center?
Right.
You know, now if you don't get wind shear over the center and you get it back here, but you get it up here, you actually vent the storm. And that's actually good for the storm. As long as that center can keep the thunderstorms right around the center, it'll get stronger and stronger. And then what happens is it goes up and then spreads out anyways. And then if out here on the sides you got wind shear blowing one that way and one that way, you're literally helping that system work. And so this could be that. It's just so complicated at this point.
Yeah. I'm wondering if with this front and, you know, it kind of gets sucked up into that jet and gets pulled northward, or does it merge with Humberto? That's my curiosity, and I think that's why the models
Which is kind of what it said yesterday.
Yeah, the models are, you know, really struggling to pick that up because there's so many different elements that are going on at the same time.
So what this one did, the European, it went in like this, and then it kind of does a loop, and it's sitting right here, very broad low. Look at all that shear over top of that, where that arrow is. If that's the case, that's just rain falling apart, and it's mainly to the north of it, and it's blowing a ton of clouds out to the east over the Atlantic. Meanwhile, here is right here, right? That is where Humberto is at that time. So it came all the way up and went something like this. So it separates them.
Yeah.
But yesterday, to your point, Colleen, it was that even the GFS was saying this one is too weak, and it would just absorb it and take it out.
Right.
With that. That's not the case today. So let's move on from this. I know that's kind of a lot to see. Here are the forecast models for Invest 94, and this is what's really kind of changed today. They have been basically saying it looked more like they were going to stop somewhere east of Jacksonville and maybe do something like you see here, get pulled out. But today you can clearly see a lot more are taking it up off the Carolina coastline.
Right.
So that's what they have to watch for. And you know, you would want to know intensity, but we're really kind of clueless almost as to where this thing's going to go at this point. I would say that today, and we were talking back on Monday and the Tuesday, talking with managers here, when are we going to know more? And we were saying Thursday. And it just so happens that Thursday is the day that, okay, this does look more likely. And if this happens, we do think the intensification starts to occur in the mid-Bahamas, North Bahamas, and then east of Florida. All right, this does not appear to be a Florida storm. Now remember, the highest winds are going to be somewhere in the middle, wherever the middle goes. All right, it's not over here at this point, right? But this turn that goes into, say, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, that could come further south. Okay, and so that is something that needs to be watched right there. Here's a look at both of the models, and you can see that just looks a little bit more likely to me. Right, that the idea of things getting together. Let me show you real fast where the GFS is, and then we'll take a quick break, because the GFS is showing this, what we call Fujiwara effect, or at least it was trying to show it. But you see the two systems there? That's Humberto. That is Imelda, which is 94, Imelda to be, and this is Sunday morning. Okay, now watch what happens as we go through the day. On Sunday, it keeps them separate. That's Monday morning before the sun's up. Look at that. That's a decent storm. That's at least a tropical storm, maybe hurricane before landfall, but it completely separates them. All right, and then it takes Humberto and takes it out. That was not the case yesterday. The problem is this high pressure you see up here coming in. With Imelda getting into here, it gets underneath that high, pushed to the west. The high continues to come in, and then it literally just shoves it down. And it'll be sheared apart at that point, so it's just rain left over. We're not talking a lot of wind at that point. But that's the bottom line. I mean, what do you think, Colin? I think today's model runs look more like what I would expect to see from a model run in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one run, so I don't want to ride on it just because it's a 24-hour difference and we have such two different scenarios. To me, you know, like I said, I would be more interested to see, and I think timing plays a lot into this too, because these systems are moving so slow. I mean, Humberto is moving at 8 miles per hour right now, so there is a chance that they could stay separated. You know, I mean, they're only 800, 900 miles apart at this time, so. Yeah, if 94, soon to be Imelda, stays closer to the coast and Humberto continues to slowly drift its way towards Bermuda, and then once that front comes through, kind of sweeps it away, it's a possibility, but I'm still keeping yesterday's models in the back of my mind, just so there's no surprises on my end.
Yeah, absolutely. For planning purposes, we're saying, you know, if you've got plans in the Carolinas, Sunday night, Monday, you need to pay attention. Georgia, I will, and even in the Jacksonville area, just keep an eye on this one. Tampa, we're looking okay in this one. The problem with Tampa is that normally, and this time of the year, not always in late September, but sometimes you have some really cool and dry air up in the north, in the southeast. And when a system comes up in the Carolinas, it pulls that dry air down here. That's not the case this time, so we're not going to get a bunch of dry air behind it. At least we'll get some, but not a lot. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more local forecast.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called attorney Dan Newton. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
Weather impacts your life every day. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. You can find out about any change in the weather with our 10 Tampa Bay Plus app. Just stream for the latest forecast, any weather impact alert, updated tropics forecast, and take a live look at the radar. Anytime you want, and it's free. It's just one more way we're helping you stay informed, prepared, and connected. Stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
And it's like a movie script. It's family rivalry, betrayal, and murder.
They cover America's most fascinating true crime stories.
One way or another, that's an execution.
Absolutely.
Every case.
Who would want to hurt him?
Every clue.
This is dynamite for an investigator.
Every mystery that keeps you guessing until the very end.
Does everyone's jaws drop?
Dateline, 5 times a week. Watch weekdays at 4 on 10 Tampa Bay.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
All right, 444. What were we doing this time last year, Colleen?
Yeah, we were bunkering down. That's what we were doing. We were at our remote station, actually. So whenever we have a system like Helene that threatens our area, we evacuate here at the station. So tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of Helene making landfall near the Big Bend area. That happens on September 26th, 2024. So Yeah.
as a, look at this, a Cat 4.
A Cat 4, yeah.
This thing was 100 miles west of Pinellas as a Cat 3, strengthening to a Cat 4. The center stayed completely offshore. We had the largest storm surge we've seen in over 103 years with a storm that did not make landfall in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
That's how susceptible we are to storm surge here.
Especially because we were on that right side. You know, that was a big problem with Helene, going back to, you know, a lot of people around the community said, I haven't seen storm surge like this. I've been living here for 35 years. I've been living here all my life, whatever the case may be. And, you know, as Helene kind of rode up the coast there, it was only a couple hundred miles off the coast, but that was just enough to really bring in that, wrap that wind around and push that surge into our coast as it traveled up toward the Big Bend. And then, of course, we had flooding out in the Carolinas as it made its journey out that way. So I believe we have some video from that recapping last year package. So let's see that.
A pause for reflection. What you see here was Beacon Village when photographer Carl Goodmanson and I came to see this community after the storm. A year later, this is now Beacon Village.
It's definitely a mixed bag of emotions because, like, you know, it's the start of hurricane season and I see all kinds of named storms cropping up everywhere, and, you know, with climate change and everything, it's like you never know, like, if there's going to be another hurricane.
But for Michael Bergen, it hardly felt like a year as he reflects on the day of the storm.
Yeah, we woke up and then we got all these notifications to leave, but by the time we were able to get those, the water was about this high, so the cars wouldn't be able to drive. So first we went up to the attic, and then it started sloshing into the attic, and we actually swam down and swam out of a window and got on the roof.
With no fixed address, Bergen and his partner moved from place to place.
We stayed with some family in Black Mountain, and then we got a Airbnb in Charlotte for a little while. We stayed in a friend's basement apartment. It's like a finished apartment. And then around Thanksgiving, we actually found a rental up the road where we were able to walk down here during the rebuild.
But with a little support.
We've had an unbelievable amount of donations.
And some furniture.
We have 3 kitchen tables.
He was able to officially settle in 4 weeks ago.
It's definitely a good feeling, and, like, you know, seeing all the hard work and everything that went into getting, you know, the house rebuilt almost completely, you know, it's good to see that all come to, you know, to us being able to live here and be safe.
For him, there's no place like home.
It's great to be back in our house.
Just amazing. Just
wasn't
incredible
until
damage
November
up there.
until they actually found, you know, another place to live. So
yeah,
those areas, you know, of course, they're going to be on high alert and looking out for this tropical system. And of course, it's 2 different scenarios, but still, whenever we have tropical systems threatening areas that are already vulnerable, I mean, this was only a year ago, certainly, you know, thinking about those folks out there.
Let's go real fast. I want to show you some forecasted winds, just to kind of give you an idea where I mean, you see where Tampa is, right? This is Saturday afternoon. Notice the winds in the Bahamas starting to get a little bit stronger. And again, this is just the European forecast model. This is going to change, but gives you an idea. Most of the winds stay offshore. Sunday, 4 o'clock p.m. Monday, 6 p.m. All right, look at the Carolinas. So if this holds, it would be their storm. They would get tropical storm watches, maybe a hurricane watch as early as Saturday afternoon. All right, and then as you go into Tuesday, you see it goes on shore, it weakens. Meanwhile, there goes Humberto around Bermuda. Okay, so now let's go up to the GFS. What does it say? This is Saturday at 4 p.m., Sunday at 7 p.m., Monday at 6 p.m. with landfall there near Charleston. Myrtle Beach would take it on the chin right there, and that could be a hurricane at that time. But then you notice it weakens, and that one does move a little bit further inland.
Yeah.
Bottom line is these forecasts are going to change, but now we're at the point in the timing that the Carolinas through Northeast Florida have to keep a close eye on this storm and expect some changes, and also expect us to keep you updated right here.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take one more break, and we'll come back and we'll have your local forecast. Weather impacts your life every day. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. You can find out about any change in the weather with our 10 Tampa Bay Plus app. Just stream for the latest forecast, any weather impact alert, updated tropics forecast, and take a live look at the radar. Anytime you want, and it's free. It's just one more way we're helping you stay informed, prepared, and connected. Stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, a retired teacher, psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy!
Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30, right here on 10 Tampa Bay.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called attorney Dan Newton. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Secure outdoor equipment and generators. Clear debris from around your AC unit and schedule a pre-storm HVAC and electrical inspection.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
All right, 451, let's talk local forecast. So we have some showers and storms out there right now, but if you joined us yesterday, we were talking, Colleen, about that westerly wind that's kind of taken over this afternoon like it normally does, but it's not going back to the east the next couple of days. So it's kind of a west-southwest winds, and as a result, it's going to blow all that rain inland, and not much really comes back later this afternoon.
Yeah, we had a couple storms around, right on top of our station. We had some thunder during our noon show, if anybody was joining us then. And yeah, since that time, we've watched these storms drift towards our inland locations and bringing some thunder at times, some heavy rain downpours. But within the last hour, you can see a lot of that has started to collapse. And we still have some rain out there, but most of it has started to push off toward the northeast.
Okay, so look over there in Brandon. You can see the rain moving out on I-4. I'm going to go move kind of quick here. I want to get through this graphic. This will plan your Thursday, your Friday, and then I want to show you an important cold front for the weekend. This is 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock tonight. All right, we could have a couple of showers pop up. Not a big deal. Most areas won't see it. Tomorrow, we will start with a very small chance for a shower along the immediate coast. Most areas won't see that. But then again, around lunchtime, a few showers pop up and they work their way inland. 30%, maybe 40% chance for rain. I think that's closer to 30. Then on Saturday, we start again with a morning shower. This is around 7:30. This is a better chance in the first part of the morning, right along the coast. But then there's the front.